Hello, I'm Jackson Haney from Insane Internet Wrestling, and this is the Hot Tag. So, this past year and a half's worth of wrestling, WWE wise at least, has been difficult. And I don't mean difficult like trying to work out a test that you haven't studied for difficult. I mean almost unbearable to watch kind of difficult, at some points at least. Because like we talked about in the first episode of this series, if you want to watch that, click here. Raw is bad, and SmackDown isn't much better. And that can be boiled down mainly to the fact that there's not many new stars on the show, but also the lack of crowd. Because wrestling is a crowd sport. That's what it is. Fans come into the show, and they have the power to make or break matches, characters, or wrestlers themselves. Unlike basketball or football or baseball, where fans come in, chant something, and that has no effect on the actual sport, in wrestling, when fans chant something, it either tells people that they either care about a match or they don't care about a match. This past year and a half, that hasn't been the case because there's been no crowd to chant anything. Because of the virus that has unfortunately put a stop to a lot of sports leagues' plans. But now we're getting back in the swing of things. The NFL is looking to have crowds back this fall. Basketball in the NBA has had a crowd for a while now. The playoffs, in the finals, most of their games are stacked. Baseball games are having fans back in arenas as well. And wrestling is looking to follow that trend, with AEW introducing crowds at their Road Rager event this past Wednesday. And it seems like WWE is finally going to follow suit, because this Friday on SmackDown, they are bringing back an actual crowd full time. This Friday's SmackDown will be the first SmackDown to not take place in Orlando for ages now. They're going to have wrestling shows, WWE at least, take place in different locations for the first time in a year and a half, and that's brilliant. Pay-per-views are going to have different locations. WrestleMania next year is going to be a lot better than the past two in terms of an actual crowd, because hopefully it'll be full capacity. And with the return of a crowd, one big question comes up. How will this affect WWE as a whole? Now, from first glance, it looks like it's going to do pretty well because, again, wrestling's a crowd sport. It relies on the crowd as its main source of energy, in a sense. Crowds make or break wrestling. That's all that happens. And it could also do wonders for the booking portion of wrestling, because if you've noticed, this past year and a half, booking-wise, hasn't been great. And that, in my opinion, is down to the fact that people weren't there, so they can't cheer or boo what's happening because they're not there. So Vince McMahon can book whatever he wants and no one will say anything. Sure, they'll complain on Twitter all they want, but in terms of actual live engagement, there's none of that. Now, it's common knowledge that Vince McMahon apparently doesn't listen to the fans and does whatever he wants. That's why Roman Reigns has been on top for the past 5 years or so. I mean, one example, Survivor Series 2007, in the horrible match that was the Great Khali versus Hornswoggle, Shaquille O'Neal was at ringside, and since we were in Miami, and Shaq played in Miami at the time, they wanted Shaq to wrestle Khali instead of the little midget leprechaun. And to which Vince McMahon replied, "I don't give a crap what you want." Well, just go out and say it then, Vince. And that seems to be the general consensus for WWE for the past decade or so. Another big example, Royal Rumble 2015. Every single person in the world wanted Daniel Bryan to win that Rumble. But he didn't. They put him in, sure, unlike the year before, where they didn't put him in at all, and fans were really mad about that. But in 2015, they said, okay, fine, we'll put him in the match, and then eliminate him early. Ha ha ha, screw you. And to further cement this point, right after Bryan was eliminated, out comes Goldust, and on the Titantron it reads, "Shattered Dreams." Screw you too, WWE. But that's just the case, because they want to push their guy and have no involvement from the fans in their storylines. And if you want to play that game and then not listen to us and say that you're not listening to us, fine. Go ahead and do that. I understand that. But if you're going to do that and then turn right around and say, hey, we do this all for the fans, your reason for doing this, that's hypocrisy at its highest level. But to bring it all the way back around to the point I'm trying to make, with the return of a crowd, fans will now have the power to cheer or boo certain wrestlers or certain storylines, skits, whatever, and WWE might actually listen. Like I said in the previous video, Vince McMahon is aware of the fact that the WWE product is stale and he doesn't seem to be doing anything about it at the moment. But with the return of a crowd, things could hopefully turn around. We could see new faces emerge, new heels come and rise to the top, new characters, new face turns, heel turns, whatever, as long as the fans cheer or boo those and give their opinion on those and let WWE know what they think and tell WWE what they need to change. And looking at the current product, they need to change a lot. I've covered what they need to change. Again, the previous video of the hot tag, but the point still stands. With the fans returning, things could be looking up for WWE, especially NXT. Oh boy, let's talk about NXT, because no division, no brand, no nothing in WWE works with the crowd as much as NXT does, because those are the hardcore fans. I've said it before, NXT is the best of the indies and the best of WWE rolled into one black and gold baby. And it's Triple H's baby, and it's been a very good baby, but during the pandemic, it's been a weird baby. I'm running away with this metaphor, aren't I? I've said WWE relies on the crowd, but NXT really relies on the crowd. Even in the days when it was just a network exclusive in the Full Sail University arena, it relied on the crowd. The hardcore fans made or broke characters. Do you really think that Bayley and Sasha Banks' feud would have gotten over without the endorsement of the crowd? I don't think so. And now with new stars like Isaiah Swerve Scott and Hit Row, Karrion Kross and Scarlett, and all these other guys, with the return of fans, they could get some crowd reaction that they've never gotten, and that will work wonders for them, considering the fact that they don't get called up first. Bottom line is this. Look forward to crowds coming back. Get excited. I know I am. Look forward to WWE trying to do something different in order to please the crowds, in order to keep them there and have attendance skyrocket. If they do, expect things to be a lot better in the long run. I'm Jackson Haney from Insane Internet Wrestling, and that was the hot tag.